Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, March 27th. Getting ready to go off to work, and I have a busy day. Not as busy as yesterday, but I have a busy day. So, yeah, off to work. Hopefully you have a great day. Talk to you later. Hi, guys. I just got home. It is a little after 4. I had a few clients today. For lunch today, I didn't film it. I had tuna again and guacamole, and then I had some trail mix this morning, and I'm having some more right now. I'm not going to eat anything for dinner. That's just all I'm going to have is some trail mix. But anyway, so that was my day today. Work, and more work. Tomorrow, lots of work. Friday, lots of work. And then I have to do some on Saturday and Monday of next week. So, lots of work, but that's how it goes, y'all. Hopefully you've had a good day. And, yeah. That's all I got for this moment. I'm just tired, y'all. So, I will let you guys get to it. And I will chat back with you later. Talk to you later. Hey guys, I am going to have a quick little chat with you. My hair's a disaster. Before I go get in the shower and go to bed. So, I wanted to talk to y'all about, for those who are thinking about going tiny, how to go about doing it. As you know, I live tiny here in my house. Also camper van. So let's talk about how to go tiny. There's different versions of tiny. A small house. A house on wheels. A tiny house on wheels. An RV. A camper van. Park model home. There's all kinds of versions of tiny. So, most of the time, the definition of tiny is 400 square feet or less, but that's just a definition. Tiny's tiny. Anything smaller than what you're used to being in. Mine's like 406 square feet, something like that. So, I live in a tiny park model. I also have a tiny camper van. I started out in, let's see, I did the log home. I don't know what square footage that was. And then I moved to a smaller apartment. Then I moved to a motorhome. Then I moved to a high-top camper van. Then I moved to my current van that I have and bought a tiny home also. So, how to go tiny real quick. Just a few suggestions. If you're thinking about going tiny, but you're not sure, or maybe you don't have the funds yet, or whatever the reason you haven't gone tiny, because it's not for everybody. I would suggest, depending on the version of tiny that you're gonna do, or I guess it really doesn't matter. You can, there's a lot of tiny homes that are on like Airbnb rentals. Rent one for a night or a weekend and stay in it and see how you like it. That's one way. Rent an RV. Go camping at a campground for 3 or 4 days in a small space. Not reenact, but that's what I want to say is reenact. Take your current life and move it to something that's like a rental, or if maybe you know somebody that has something tiny that you can stay in. So whether you have a spouse or kids, animals, whatever, take all of that, move it into a tiny for a few days and see how you guys adjust. There are a lot of adjustments if you're not used to being tiny, depending on how complex or how simple the tiny place is, and how extreme you want to go. So that's my first suggestion, is to try it out for a little while to see if it's for you. And eventually you'll know exactly how small or how big you need to be on your living quarters. And then also, if you know you want to go tiny, then you need to pare down everything that you have. You need to keep only your necessary stuff, depending on the size of tiny that you're going to be in, and pare it all down. And then you'll probably need to pare it down again after that. When I had most of my stuff in when I moved it to this tiny house, in my camper van. Let's see. My camper van, and then I had a little small storage unit at that time. I moved it all down here, and I ended up getting rid of a ton of stuff even then, and I didn't have very much. I think I only had like a 5x5 storage unit. Now, I did buy some stuff to put in here, but I had to get rid of a lot of stuff even then with a 5x5 unit and the stuff that was in my camper van. And there's still stuff that I need to go through in my shed, but some of that I inherited with the house. So pare down on your stuff. Try out tiny, and go to tiny home places, tiny home shows. Look at all the different versions of tiny. Go to RV stores, look at RVs, see if that's something that you want to do, whether you want to go with a motorhome or you want to go with a bumper pull. There's all kinds of versions. Or you want to go with a Class B, which is a camper van, or a Class C, which is between a camper van and a big motorhome. Or rent a tiny little house and see if maybe you want to downsize to a tiny little house. There's so much involved, just like there is with a big house, on getting ready to go tiny. You're going to save a lot of money depending on how you do it. It's going to be a more simple lifestyle because you can't have everything like you have in a big house. There's just so much. I'm trying to think of some good pointers to help you if you decide that you want to go tiny. There's a lot less to worry about, but there are other things that you have to worry about that you don't normally do in a larger home. So those are the kind of things that you'll figure out as you go along. But your first step is to figure out if tiny is really for you or not. And maybe your version of tiny is going to 1,000 square feet or 800 square feet. There's different versions of tiny. So try it out, figure it out, and then try the different versions of tiny, like I said. And obviously anybody in your family needs to be on board with that. If you're single like me, it doesn't matter, but if you have a family, then everybody needs to try it out and be on board with it, and realize what they're going to have to sacrifice to make tiny living work. And maybe it won't for you. You'll figure out maybe it doesn't work, and that's okay too. At least you tried. You don't have to go buy a big expensive tiny home like you see on HGTV. There's a lot of versions out there. Just start doing your research. Look up on YouTube, Google it, whatever. And like I said, start going to some of these tiny home shows and renting different places depending on which avenue you're wanting to go tiny in. I'm trying to think if there's anything. It's so hard to think of it. I didn't write it down. I just wrote the topic down because I know that some people are interested in tiny houses and stuff. Yeah, I can't think of anything offhand besides those couple pointers on going tiny. But I'll do another video on tiny house living and different things. Put your comments below on what you would like to get answered on questions as far as tiny living is concerned, and I'll do a video of a bunch of different tiny house questions. So put your comments below, and if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Hit that bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. And remember, y'all, to live a simple, happy, healthy, tiny life. Talk to you tomorrow.